Liza Banks, everybody. Liza Banks. Something tells me you go to high school in New York City, because that's where the kind of stuff happens. It's good that you're not getting mixed up with that crowd, because they are like bad news. They're they're 15 years old. They're all like the Desperate Housewives, and All right.
DC.
DC? Oh, wow. Okay. Guess I'm not raising kids in DC either. Anyway, we got one.
X equals 1, by the way.
Oh, I was wondering that. I'm too high all the time. Anyway, I thank you guys for sticking around. This has been very patient. One person left. Keep it going for Peter Morris, everybody. Peter Morris.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Historical Comedy Night tonight. Turns out after the Revolution, the Americans were very anti-British. They wanted to get rid of all the British crap, right? So they got rid of looks like they played cricket.
Yeah.
Got rid of that, and they wanted to replace it. So they got lacrosse from the Native Americans, and they actually formed a league. This is true. They formed a league, and they had like a whole championship thing. But it turns out that the Indian guys were the best players, and that was true for the first season until the championship game, where the first prize was blankets. Thanks for getting that. This is a couple of firsts for me tonight. Thanks for having me up here, by the way. The first is the first time I've been on stage in New York City, Chicago guy. And it's the first time I've followed a 13-year-old girl. Well, I mean on stage. Followed a 13-year-old girl. No, that's not true. I'm kidding. I have 13-year-old daughters, actually. So, you're a much more sophisticated young lady than my daughters are. At least I'm hoping. That, and I'm glad that you're still uncomfortable with a penis in your face, because I'm almost 50 and I'm still uncomfortable with a penis in my face. My kids are not sophisticated at all. In fact, they're borderline fucking retarded. I was trying to explain to them that iPhones didn't exist all the time, and there was back in the day we didn't have satellite radio. In fact, when I was a kid, I'm so old that we only had AM radio. Right? There was nothing else. AM radio. So my daughter looked at me. She's 13 years old. She looked at me and said, "What did you listen to in the afternoon?" All right, so I'm a Chicago guy, and I got to tell you that New York has a very different attitude. Not only the 13-year-olds, but New York is very different. The East Coast is very different than Chicago. I grew up in Boston, so my name was actually Peter. And when I moved to the Midwest, I noticed a couple of differences. The first is, if you go to a bar with a group of your buddies, and there's another group of people there, at the end of the game, there's one group of 8 guys, right? Because somebody talked to somebody who knows a guy. And in Boston, if you go to a game, at the end of the game, it's 2 groups of 4 guys. They're going to talk to each other, right? They're looking at each other, the fucking pricks over there, look at them. Drinking that beer, the fuckers, Jesus Christ, fucking bastards. And in New York, at the end of the game, there's one group of 4 guys, because they beat the shit out of the other guys. So New York does have an attitude. Anyone? Yes? Yeah. Right about this? All right. And here's how I knew it, because in Chicago, the big university downtown is University of Illinois Chicago, UIC. And in Boston, MIT. Right? Here in New York, Fordham University, FU. No, apparently it's a pretty large campus, because I was over here over the weekend and I was asking people, "Excuse me, tell me where I am." "Fuck you, buddy. F you, pal." And I'm like, still on campus. Can't get that lost. This is great. All right, so we're going to switch it from historical comedy night to middle-aged white guy angst night.
Yeah.
That's okay with me. None of this is going to make any sense to you, but bear with me. I'm dating now because I'm divorced, and I got to tell you, dating as a divorced guy is tough. Although dating as a non-divorced guy, when I was 13 years old, 15, 16 years old, dating sucked then too, right? Because what happened when you dated back then? You drove your dad's middle-aged white guy car up to the house, right? And you got out and you knocked on the door, and the dad was there, and you're like, "Hello, is Jenny here?" Hold on. And he says to you, "Come on in." And you're like, No, I'll just stand here and wait, It should get in your car, and the only thing on the radio station was AM radio, it's fucking awful. But now that I'm older, and I get dates, I have to get a babysitter because I've got kids. And this is awful because you drive up in your middle-aged white guy car, and you walk up to the door and knock on it. And there, the dad's like, come on, and you're like, oh no, I'll just stand here and wait for her. You get in the car, it's AM radio playing. The worst part though is I decided I didn't look, like I could get laid, so I thought about working out and losing weight and shit, and I decided, fuck that. So instead I got implants. No, I did. Seriously, I got ass implants. I don't know if you can see them with the khakis. That's true. It was really an embarrassing procedure to go through. Have any of you had plastic surgery? Anybody? This was awful because I walked in for the initial consultation, and the guy looked at me and started talking about how hair restoration works. And I said, oh no, I'm not here for that. And he said, oh well, liposuction is very, I'm like, no. I am here for the ass implants. And I should have gone to a better doctor because he actually used breast implants on my ass. And so now I have a pair of nipples, right here and here. Gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, kiss my ass. And although the only downside really, during the winter when it's cold and I sit down on something, it hurts like hell. All right, guys, you've been great. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, Peter Morris, everybody. That was Peter Morris, and that has been the show. Get home and say, have a good night.